Okay, let's dive right into a massive shift that's happening in the world of artificial intelligence. For decades, the language of AI development was just a given. It was English. But that whole foundation is starting to crack, and a completely new global order is about to emerge from it. This phrase from our source material, wow, it just perfectly nails it, doesn't it? The end of an era. We are literally watching the collapse of a system where one single language had a total, absolute monopoly on the world of AI. I mean, just think about it for a second. For as long as AI has really been a thing, Silicon Valley basically set the rules. And rule number one was you do it in English. If you wanted to build, if you wanted to innovate, if you even wanted to participate in the AI revolution, you had to speak the language. But that empire, it's falling. We hear so much about the hardware race, who's got the fastest chips, the most computing power. But that's only half the story. The real war, the one that's really heating up, isn't about silicon at all. It's about something much deeper. And that brings us to the new battlefield. The conflict is now being fought on a totally new front, what our source material calls the culture layer. And this is where things get really interesting. This isn't a fight over hardware. It's a battle for language, for culture, and for identity itself. So, what exactly is this linguistic layer? Well, it's not just about simple translation, not by a long shot. Think of it as the soul of an AI. It's the part that understands not just the words, but the jokes, the idioms, the cultural references, the unique way a group of people sees the world. Owning this layer means you own the very fabric of digital communication for an entire culture. Okay, so a battlefield? That sounds pretty dramatic, right? What exactly turned this from a piece of technology into a full-blown strategic battleground for global dominance? What was the spark? Well, it all boils down to one simple thing: money. The economics of the whole game have completely flipped on their head. For years, it was just prohibitively expensive to build a huge language model in anything but English. But now, the scales have tipped. It is suddenly way, way cheaper and more possible than ever to build AI that is native to other languages and cultures. And this economic shift has set the stage for a fascinating high-stakes rivalry. You've got the established English-first incumbent trying to defend its global territory, and it's facing off against these incredibly ambitious new challengers who have a massive home field advantage. And this reveals two totally different game plans. The incumbent, OpenAI, is using what's being called a Trojan Horse Strategy. They build a powerful English-first model, and then they adapt it for other languages to try and keep their market share. But the challengers, they're using layered optimizations, which means they are building their AI from the ground up, in their native language, embedding all that deep cultural nuance from day one. It's the difference between an outsider learning the language and a native speaker. The fluency's on a whole other level. Now, these two competing strategies aren't just some abstract idea playing out in the background. Oh no, they are on a collision course. And it's all building towards a very specific predicted climax. The source material points to a single year when the simmering conflict is expected to just boil over. So while so much of the public conversation is still focused on computing power and who has the most data centers, the real conflict, the game-changing one, is escalating on that crucial linguistic layer we've been talking about. And experts believe it's all hurtling towards one critical moment, a showdown predicted for 2027. Yep, that's the year to watch. It's when experts think this battle for linguistic and cultural dominance in AI is going to reach its boiling point. We could actually see non-English models start to completely dominate their own regional markets, fracturing the global AI landscape for good. So why should you care about all this high-tech geopolitical fight? Because the stakes could not be higher. This is about way more than just which chatbot you happen to use. This is about the future of how we all communicate and who gets to hold influence in our new digital age. The outcome is going to have massive ripple effects. First, it's going to define who gets to shape global information flows, the new gatekeepers of our digital world. Second, it determines which cultural nuances get amplified and which ones just get lost in translation. This is going to create a fundamentally new, truly multilingual digital world, one that isn't just built on an English foundation. And finally, the winner of this race could set the standard for digital communication for decades, locking in their cultural influence for a generation. And that leaves us with this one final, really provocative thought. For centuries, the English-speaking world has largely written the dictionary for technological progress. But as that grip loosens, and in a future where AI is no longer English first, we have to ask, who will write the new dictionary? Who gets to define what words and what ideas truly mean